Hi there, I'm Andre from Peak Motorcycles. I'm here at EICMA 2024 and I'm here at the KTM stand. Now, KTM make a lot of cool bikes, they make a lot of great Enduros. They've got their top end, the 1290s, 1390s as they've become. And the 390, if I'm honest, has been a bit neglected. I quite like the idea of the 390 as a platform, but the old 390 Adventure never really did it for me. However, as you can see over my shoulder, we have not one but two new 390 based trail bikes. So I'll show you around the whole stand, but in particular I'm going to focus on the 390 Adventure R and then the 390 Enduro R, which is over on the other side. So the bike I'm actually going to start with is this, which is the new KTM 125 Enduro R. So yeah, it's a 125 trail bike, but it is very much a full-size trail bike. You know, it's got quite a sturdy looking bash guard under there. It's got WP Apex suspension at the front. If I come around this side, you'll just see the work that's gone into that. The LC4C engine underneath there, swing arm down at the back. Now these things are certainly made to a budget, but I'm sure you'll agree the fit and finish on this, as you expect with any KTM, looks really good. And for somebody who's looking for a 125 trail bike, there isn't really that much choice in the UK. The next bike that I want to show you is this, and this is something I think is particularly interesting. This is the new KTM 390 Enduro R. Now I knew the Adventure was coming, and generally the KTM Enduro bikes have been, derivations of their, competition bikes. They have the service intervals to go with it, but this looks like it's based on that same LC4E at 390 that is in the Adventure. It is still fairly basic, but if you just have a look at this, it's got the fully adjustable WP suspension on it. I am just going to try and see if I can get on it one-handed, one sec. And you can't really see on here, there's a place to sit. It's actually pretty comfortable. I can just about, if I put my camera down like that, I can just about get my toes down on the ground, and I'm 6'1". So it's certainly a tall bike. This is not the low to the ground 390 that the old Adventure was, not at all. Continuing down this side, you can see it does have a more sturdy bash plate, which, you know what, if it comes like that out of the box, that is spot on. It comes up nice and high. You can see it's still welded at the corners. And on the bottom there, it's got some tooth pegs with rubber inserts. It's got a very short Remus can on the back, which looks kind of cool, and a few other KTM bits and pieces on it. So yeah, I really like the look of that. Coming down here to see the other end of their range is certainly the KTM 1390 Super Adventure R. I mean, that is a piece of kit, isn't it? I mean, they're big, they're fat. They probably scare GS Adventures into the woods, and they have always been a truly incredible bike. Just coming up here and taking a look, just seeing the size of the dash and the resolution on that. I mean, it's just dripping with technology, as it would need to be, because I know that the 1390 is just the beast. Yeah, just coming down the other side, just to give you a look at that, it's got those sort of gloss orange wraparound crash bars that I guess will protect you from almost everything. And yeah, just a really nice piece of engineering. Still chain drive though. BMW have been shaft drive on their bigger bikes for a long time. But KTM is sticking with this. This is the KTM 1390 Super Adventure S, so not quite as shouty as the R, but it's still certainly up there. I mean, it's just, I'm quite tall. The top of that screen must be well over 5 feet high. Stepping down a bit, just down low, see it's got that WP Apex suspension. It's common across the range. This one does have the cast wheels instead of the spoke wheels, but looking at, just brilliant piece of kit. As a sort of super fast sports tourer, I think they're amazing. Taking a bit of a break from the adventure bikes, as it's rather busy around there, we do have the SX, the KTM 85 SX, the 250 SXF 4-stroke factory edition, which looks very fancy, and then the 450 SXF 4-stroke 450. Yeah, really cool. Not really my sort of bikes. I don't really do that sort of riding, really. I'm probably just not good enough. Here we have the KTM 1390 Super Duke GT. So this really is their sort of top of the line sports tourer, 190 horsepower, upright riding position. It's just very, very cool. This one's got the Akrapovic exhaust on it. It's got the KTM luggage. I'm not sure how practical actually a lot of that is for riding, but it is an absolute beast of a thing. I don't know if you can see the dash just up in there, but it's got that super widescreen dash in a brilliant colour. And just to close out the 1390s, here we have the 1390 Super Duke R Evo. So they took the normal 1390, decided now we'll make the R and then we'll make the Evo with just everything all the extras on it really. So it's dripping in carbon fibre. I'm assuming that is actually real carbon fibre, not just something made to look like carbon fibre. To come up and see the dash up there, you know, that tiny little, you can see just the thickness of that carbon fibre screen. The red dash with the lap timer. Coming down the side, this one has a lot of KTM power parts fitted to it as well. Has that rear hugger and that slick rear tyre. Yeah, a really cool piece of machinery. Probably a bit more like my sort of bike. Here we have the new Super Duke 990. So this is the 990R, it's 103 horsepower. Yeah, it looks very, very cool. Still way too fast for most roads around where I am, but it's got that big widescreen dash, and you can see just like the details, like that orange billeted parts in there. We have a couple of sports bikes here. It's KTM's, it's the RC16. This is Brad Binder's MotoGP bike. Looks extremely clean, it's hardly used, but I'm sure that's just been cleaned up for the show. And to see all the engineering, the technology that goes into these sports bikes really is very special. At the slightly more usable end of the market, we have the 990 RCR track bike, litre track bike. Even that looks very cool. And to give you a look at the 990 RCR from the front, you can see it's got lots of aero derived from the race bike. Again, lots of carbon fibre all over the front end. Following on from the Enduro bikes, here we have the SMC 125R. So yeah, taking the same frame but giving it the SMC treatment. So this is the KTM 390 Adventure R. Now, as you can see, this one's got the 21-inch front wheel, spoke wheels. It's got the WP Explore Pro forks. It's got the side bash guards. It's got the crash bars. It's got that big bash guard underneath, and it's got the Krapovic exhaust. You can just see poking out in the back there. Coming up and around the back, it's definitely got sort of an enduro back end. Definitely, you know, less adventure, more enduro, but certainly from the side, yeah, that really looks the part. Just coming up and over, it's got this. I guess that's a plastic tank, helps keep the weight down. Coming up and looking at the bars, it's got that TFT dash on a tower. Yeah, that just looks really well put together. It does have a fly-by-wire throttle, it does have riding modes, and it does have cruise control, which on a bike like this is, I guess, kind of unusual. If I just come around the front and just give you a view of it there, it's got that sort of look with the daytime running lights around the outside that sort of looks very similar to the rest of the KTM range. And if you can see just under here, we have these spotlights. Now, I did ask them about this bike, and the thing that troubled me a little bit is if I come down here, is the level of that exhaust. So they've got the nice carbon fibre exhaust there, but it is pretty much level with the foot pegs. I asked why that was, and they said it's the engine that's come out of the Duke, and it was essentially done to keep the costs low. So a lot of the parts have been reused. A few things to point out as well is that these WP Explore forks are not standard, that's an upgrade. The spotlights are an upgrade, the crash bars are an upgrade. The bash guard underneath is an upgrade, and so is the Krapovic exhaust. Now there's also a Remus can, the same as was on the Enduro R, that will lift it up a little bit. But those are the two stock options at the moment. So I think this is definitely, you know, head and shoulders above the old KTM 390 Adventure. I mean, it actually looks like a proper adventure bike. And with all the tech, it's got cornering ABS, and you know, the bike's been made to a price point. If this one's a bit too high, they do it with 19-inch, I think 1918 or 1917 cast wheels, which will lower the bike as well, because I think that is a fairly high seat with the 21 and the 18. But I don't know. I think that this is going to do really well. I think it's so much more of a sort of a proper adventure trail bike than the old 390. They said the price is to be confirmed, as is the weight, but it's going to be priced maybe slightly above the current 390 Duke, but that is with all the standard parts, so that is not with the suspension upgrade, all the protection pieces that are on here, and the exhaust. But nevertheless, I think KTM have done a decent job there, and it's good to see some more competition in this price bracket. Having just seen the low-slung exhaust on the 390 Adventure, it did make me think I should come back and check the height of this Remus can on the KTM Enduro 390 Enduro R. It is a little higher, it's above the rear axle. It's still only just above the rear disc there. You know, I wouldn't say it's particularly high-level exhaust when you think most of their other bikes kind of have it somewhere up here. but then, you know, maybe how many people are actually going to take this wading. So this is the SMC 390. Yeah, it's certainly got a lot of same looking things about it as you've seen on the Enduro. It's got the smaller wheels, of course. It's got the bigger front disc. I suspect it might have slightly different setup suspension as well for the road. But I can certainly see where they got the exhaust from on the KTM 390, and that the SMC has the Super Motard has got it down there, and they seem to have put it in exactly the same place on the Adventure. I'm sure that's there by design. I'm just not sure it makes a lot of sense to me. So there you have it. That is my video from the KTM stand here at EICMA 2024. I think the 390 Adventure R is going to be a hit, although having said that, if every sort of 400-ish cc adventure bike that I see that I like the look of, they can't all be hits. I guess there will be some choices to be made. But then again, what a great problem to have. You know, it's nice to see finally this sector being developed a bit more. And yeah, some really cool bikes that are coming out here. Anyway, I hope that's been interesting and useful. If it has, please check out my other content from the show, and maybe I'll see you there. Thank you for watching.